All right, so we're here to continue the conversation on wellness. And what I'd like you to do is indulge me for a second. Can you show the next slide, please? So after everything you've heard, everything you've experienced at the wellness tables and things like that, as it pertains to wellness, I want to know, what are you going to do with all that information? It seems to be today a resounding theme throughout. Wellness is more than just about health. It's mind, body, and soul. Because I think what you can take away from this program today is to be able to go home and put together a plan for yourself, for your own wellness. So what I want to do in these next few moments that I have is go over some concepts and maybe some ideas that you can incorporate into your own life. So when we talk about wellness, the first logical thing that we think about wellness, can you show the next slide, please, is fitness. Okay. So within fitness, there are 5 components. Those components are cardiorespiratory fitness, body composition, flexibility, muscular strength, and muscular endurance. Next slide, please. Now, cardiorespiratory endurance, what that is just your ability to do aerobics. So what does that mean? Running, jogging, swimming. It involves oxygen. So when you think of cardiorespiratory, think of those types of exercises, because what that does is support and strengthen the heart and the lungs. Next slide, please. Muscular strength. Now, muscular strength is the ability to exert force against resistance. And muscular strength is also anaerobic. So when you hear the word anaerobic, that means without oxygen. So basically what you want to do there when you are exerting your muscular strength, you're basically, let's say you're picking up the trash, or you're pulling out your suitcase out of the car or something like that. So that's what you think of with muscular strength. Next slide. So muscular endurance is similar to muscular strength. I mean, it's the exact same thing. But what it is a continuous motion. So you're steady pushing back and forth, kind of like what they're doing. So it's the same exact thing. And so an example of this would be if you are shoveling snow, or if you are raking leaves. Those are the things that you're doing for muscular endurance. Next slide, please. Now, flexibility is a funny thing, because when you look at children, and when you probably were younger, you were able to contort your body in all these different types of movements. I mean, you see kids and they can put their legs over their heads and do different things like that. But as we get older, we tend to lose that. And so flexibility basically is, it allows your joints to move in the full range of motion. And we really want to do things like yoga or practice stretching exercises, because as we get older, we'll reduce the risk of any type of injury. Have you ever noticed that people can be the same height and the same weight, but yet their body compositions look different? So that's what that is. Their body image looks different. And the reason why it looks different is because there are 2 things that you look at. You look at fat versus fat-free mass. And what fat-free mass is any part of your body that's not fat. So we're talking about muscles, bones, organs, tendons, and ligaments. So what happens is when you're looking for a lean person, or you want to know who has more weight, it's the person with the more fat versus the fat-free mass. So that's a, thank you. Moving right along. All right, so this is something to keep in mind with all of those slides. You want some takeaways. So remember the 5 components of fitness: cardiovascular endurance, muscular strength, muscular endurance, flexibility, and body composition. So in saying all that, what you want to do is incorporate an exercise plan that involves all of that, because you need all of that in order to be healthy. So what you want to do is incorporate aerobic. That means with oxygen. That's our running and our jogging and different things like that. Anaerobic, those are when we lift weights, and also flexibility, because you'll definitely need those, and it's definitely worth investing your time and efforts in. Next slide. So the second component is food and nutrition. And I know you guys just ate, but that's fine. But it is time to start thinking about what you are putting into your body. Next slide. Look at what we are eating. And it's not just in America, it's pretty much all over the world, because, countries like to become westernized. So the thing about some of the things that we're eating is we're eating these things, but we're not nourishing ourselves on a cellular level. So what happens is, if I eat fried chicken every day, then my body is not getting the nourishment that it needs in order to grow and stay healthy and have energy. So this is something that you have to consider, cutting back on those types of foods, especially those fried foods, because they are not really the best to eat. They're better choices. Next slide. And speaking of better choices, I want to put something on your mind to think about. It's not about, I can't have the burger, I can't have the fries, I can't have this. It's about making better choices. So I want you to do this. Just think. And not only think, I want you to act. So think raw. You want to have greens, salads, anything colorful, carrots, cucumbers. You want to put some of that in your body every day so your nutrients can get down to the cellular level to make you healthy and strong and vibrant. Think water. You have to drink water. There's no way around that. So it was good to really see the water here. I want you to think portion control. Now, I'm going to give you just a little tip on how to think about portion control. So let's say you have meat, you have vegetables, and you have your starch or your rice or whatever. So do me a favor. So raise your hand. Go ahead. Don't be shy. So make a circle around here. So you see that in the palm of your hand? That's how much meat you should be eating. All right? Now I want you to make a fist. Now I want you to feel across your knuckles. That's your pasta and your rice and all that other stuff. Now I want you to put both hands out. Those are your vegetables. All right? So basically, if you can see that plate, it's split in half. You split your plate in half. You have half vegetables. You have a fourth of protein, which are your meats, and then you have a fourth of starch. So that's how we should actually be eating to stay healthy. All right. Less salt, less sugar. Now your body needs, to a certain degree, a little salt, some salt in it. But we are overdoing it in salt. So you want to watch your salt intake. You want to watch the sugars that you eat, because those are empty calories, and all it does is just really help you to gain weight. And I don't think any of us want that today. Next slide. So this is my philosophy, because I personally do have to eat chitlins once a year. I really do. But my thing is, eat what you want, just keep adding the good stuff, and you'll slowly begin to eat right. So I'm not coming here to tell you to change anything. I want you to take consideration, and after that consideration, maybe you should take some action. And if you can take one action today, drink more water. Just start right there. Start right there. All right? But this is my philosophy, and the reason I know, because I've experienced it. Once you start eating healthy, you start desiring those types of food, and eventually, maybe I won't need the chitlins once a year. Who knows? All right? Next slide. Okay, I want you to just contemplate for a moment. Think about how you are feeling. Because I think it was said earlier that you can be fit, you can eat all the right things, but if your mind isn't right, it's not going to work. You're not going to be happy. And that you want a well-balanced life. So how are you feeling today? Just kind of think about when you woke up and what your thoughts were on your way here, what your thoughts were. And if you have more negative than positive, you might want to change that around because life is good. Next slide, please. So what you have to do is learn how to manage those negative experiences and those negative situations, because if you don't get a hold of them, they can and will consume you. And this leads to other things. Next slide. So the other things that I wanted to talk about there in my notes is what happens when you're stressed out about situations and you don't handle it. You start to make poor choices and have poor behavior. And some of those things are binge and stress eating. You're zoning out in front of the television for hours. You withdraw from people and things that give you enjoyment and pleasure. You're sleeping too much. You're lashing out at people for no reason. You're procrastinating. And then sometimes it can even lead to drugs or prescription misuse. So that's why you want to keep those challenges, those life challenges, in control. Now here are some methods that you can use to overcome some of those challenges. So for me, the number one thing is prayer and patience. I pray and then I wait on it. And then it comes to me. Whatever the situation is, it can be handled. But there are some other things that you can do too. You can be grateful for what you have. You can help others, because all it is, you're focusing on yourself. But once you take the focus off yourself, you start to see how life is very amazing. Exercise, exercise, exercise. I'm a big advocate of that. Of course, I spent 20 years in the Army, so we had to exercise 3 to 5 times a day and maintain a certain standard in that. Sometimes you just need to be in silence, to be with your thoughts, to kind of think about the things that are happening, and maybe a solution will come to you then. You may need to engage socially, just to hang out with friends. Writing is always a good tool. And if it gets that bad, you might want to seek counseling. So those are just a few of the methods that we can use to overcome life's challenges. Next slide. All right. So in conclusion, what it is, it's a trifecta to wellness. It's not just one thing. And that involves your body, your mind, and soul. And you can relate that to fitness, nutrition, and well-being. So I hope some of these things have helped you. Thank you for having me. And